tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies.
The wind was picking up today. We got a winter storm popping into the future tomorrow. All more coming up.
Plus, Eric Manges is in the studio for your national forecast. All that and more, Size on the Skies starts right now.
It's Wednesday night on ISU TV, broadcasting live from Ames, Iowa. And this is Size Eyes on the Skies. ISU TV's longest-running television program brings you the weather from around the country to the heart of Iowa. The ISU Meteorology Department team of forecasters keep you ahead of the storm. From Iowa's most trusted weather team, this is Size Eyes on the Skies.
And welcome back to Size Eyes on the Sky. I am now joined by Sam Gabrielli. How's it going, Sam?
I'm good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Good.
Almost finished the week.
We had a pretty windy day today, didn't we? Man,
Yeah.
I was biking to class, and I swear, going into the wind, I was stationary. I could barely,
Yep, I
gain
saw
some
it too.
speed. So we got some snow popping into the picture here, actually. Moving on into the day planner tomorrow. We start off 8 a.m., waking up, 31 degrees. Pretty cloudy skies, and then moving on into later in the day, we see 38 at noon, and then more snow pops into the picture at 4 p.m., which is our best chance of when it starts up, with a 36-degree reading. Temperatures will drop significantly throughout the rest of the day. We have all of more coming up later on in the show.
And now for tonight's weather story. On this day in 1942, a very warm late autumn weather system brought the temperatures all the way up to as much as 80 degrees Fahrenheit at Keosauqua, making it the latest date in the year in which an 80-degree reading has ever occurred in Iowa. Aside from Keosauqua, the highest temperatures reported also included 79 at Keokuk, 78 at Washington, and even 76 at Des Moines. And now here's Eric at a look at what's happening around the nation.
Thanks. Things looking pretty active across the nation right now. You have a large low-pressure system pushing off to the east, but what we're really focusing on is the northwestern corridor. We're going to be seeing a lot of the snow that might be coming into store that we'll see in Sam's forecast coming up in a little bit.
And now here is Eric with a look at what is happening around the nation.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm meteorologist Eric Manges, aka Stats with the Cash. Right now, temperatures very cool across the interior United States. As you get down to the southeast, it's looking quite warm and not exactly like fall. To start things off, let's go look in the northeastern part of the United States. New York, you saw 62 today as some light rain kind of pushed through the area. Most of you stayed in the lower 60s to mid 50s, feeling a lot like fall, unlike the rest of the United States. As we pushed on down south, where we actually did see 80 degrees out in Miami, they don't feel much like we do right now. It's quite chilly outside if you haven't been out there in a while. 74 in Orlando, and as you get up more near the central part of the United States, you get to see the 60s and 50-degree temperatures. Taking a look now southwestern United States, kind of the more beautiful part of the country this time of year, 72 in Santa Monica. That's kind of the story typically all across California right now, upper 60s to lower 70s in general, just gorgeous. But now the fun part of the United States here. Watch this, guys. So you're going to have 40-degree temperatures. You get closer to the ocean, but as you start heading east in the northern Rockies, where that low-pressure system continues to develop, bringing with it a lot of snowfall potentially for the Columbia Basin, pushing on through the northern Rockies, and that's what we're going to be watching out for in the Midwest as that continues to push on through into Iowa, which temperatures just around 42, finally feeling like the beginning of winter. I'm sorry to say it, folks, but it's just about here now, guys. That low-pressure system brought with it some very cold Canadian air. That's going to settle on in for a couple of days. Taking a step back now and looking at all the temperatures, you can see how that low-pressure system did bring in a lot of cold air from the north and pushed on through to our northeast. And that's what we're going to see for the next couple of days. Radar-wise, Minnesota, you did see some flurries. I hope to enjoy that come Thanksgiving break. And out east, as that cold front pushes on through out into the coast, you might have saw some light rains here or there. But what we're really watching here It's this low pressure system going across Idaho right now, dumping some snow in some areas. Yellowstone, you might see some snow. Denver, you might see some snow. But more importantly is these warnings out there. You have blizzard warnings, you have winter storm warnings, you name it, we got it out there. And that's going to continue, almost push straight east as we kind of track this bad boy into Iowa, where we might even see locally 8 to 12 inches. Sam, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Breaking some cardinal rules here. He's off camera, whatever. Temperatures will continue to stay around the 30s, so depending on how much snow we get, it might start around noon, might go after the sun comes down. Who knows? Sam Gabrielli knows, though. So taking on back into the future cast, that light snow in Minnesota is going to push on through eventually. That what comes up here, this big old blob of blue, that's going to represent that heavy snows we might be seeing later on here. As that pushes on through eventually, depending on how this low tracks, we could potentially get a lot, and same with Milwaukee, Green Bay, Chicago, which is going to really make travel for this Thanksgiving kind of a headache, because if you're heading straight east, you're going to be basically sitting it the entire time as you travel on home. If you're heading north to Minneapolis, you might be able to escape it if you're lucky, but that's if you leave possibly before noon or so on. As that continues to develop and push on through, nice high-pressure ridge forms across the central United States, and you should see some nice sunny days on the days ahead. And again, tomorrow, those colder temperatures are here to stay for a few days, so 29 and up in Minneapolis. It's high temperatures. That's going to be chilly. Billings, 34, but again, still beautiful out in your southwestern United States and your southeastern United States as well. So they basically have no idea what's going on. They can't feel our pain right now. So now, my favorite part of the forecast right now is our 10-day or 7-day to Rochester, Minnesota, which is, I think, the greatest city in the nation. Friday, 36. You're going to be staying in the mid-30s up till Monday. We're going to get a little nice peak of sunshine here or there, but into the upper 40s by the mid-next week.
Eric, now let's take a look at tonight's trivia question. Which of these cities has had a snowstorm drop over 20 inches of snow in just one day? Is it A, Des Moines, Iowa, B, Barrow, Alaska, C, Houston, Texas, or D, Atlanta, Georgia? And now here's a look at Sam with your Iowa forecast.
Like Eric touched on just a bit ago, we got a huge low pressure system rolling through. I'll have more coming up. Welcome back, everybody. We got a lot to talk about today, clouds and radar wise. As you can see, there's some precipitation and snow rolling through southwest Minnesota, pushing on its way into Wisconsin. The rest of Iowa today was very clear, as you saw, but very windy, actually. Temperatures were actually in the upper 30s on into the 40s, but wind chills, bit chilly out there, folks. 22 in Mason City, 36 in Des Moines, a little lucky, and then Davenport was sitting at 28. So what's ahead on tap for us? The wind will be dying off tomorrow. First snow is actually scheduled for tomorrow, as you can believe it. And then back to average temperatures moving on into Thanksgiving week as we're all on break. Ames is currently sitting at 65 degrees. Very clear conditions out there. The wind is dying off a little bit at 9 miles per hour. It was very, very fast earlier today. Current temperatures 42 in Des Moines, 38 in Ottumwa. Northern Iowa is a little bit more chilly, 33 in Mason City and 36 in Waterloo and Fort Dodge as well. Current winds, like I just said, they're out of the west, screaming up. And if you get to northern Iowa, 17 in Mason City. Ottumwa sitting at 10. A little bit more calm out to the west in Iowa there, Sioux City and Council Bluffs, but it's very fast nonetheless. Clouds and radar, like I said. Snow is pushed up into Minnesota there. Then we got some more stuff that'll be developing actually later on into tomorrow morning. Very early, it'll be coming on through. As Eric touched on, this low is strengthening. It'll be moving on through, and the rain will be moving on into the area around 2 or 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Watches and warning-wise, the pink boxes, as you can see here, are all winter storm warnings. They used to be watches, but now, as we're moving closer on into the time frame tomorrow, they are now currently warnings. We've got a lot of wind advisories, actually, too, going on in the area here. As you can see, counties in pink here. Going on, I can't really read it off the screen there, but moving on. Futurecast is showing, like I said, 7 o'clock tonight as we're currently right now. The state is very clear, and then we've got some snow developing around 7 a.m. That'll be shifting its way on into Iowa here, right up statewide around 3 o'clock. Moving on into later afternoon, the brunt of the snow will be arriving. And as you can see here, Chicago will start getting on some action. They actually got some lake effect rain, as you can see there. The water temperature is a bit warmer than the air right now. And then it moves on out to the east, and we got nothing to worry about the rest of the week here in Des Moines. Expected snowfall, we're expecting 8.7 in Ames, 7.3 in Des Moines. As you move on northern and central part of the state, 10 inches they're expecting on into Saturday evening. Tonight is looking very chilly. Ottumwa is the warmer spot, 26 degrees. Very chilly up there in Mason City, 21 degrees, folks. You better bundle up and stay indoors. It's looking very chilly out there. 44 in Ottumwa, 41 in Des Moines for highs tomorrow, 34 in Mason City, and Sioux City is looking at a high temperature below freezing consecutively for the whole day. Forecast is showing 22 degrees with increasing clouds overnight. Gusts moving on up in 25 miles per hour, but it will be dying off going on into tomorrow. Tomorrow's forecast 38 degrees, very early clouds, afternoon snow, as like I just touched on earlier, we're expecting. And moving on in here into the 7-day, like I said, 100% chance of snow tomorrow. 28 degrees on Saturday is the colder spot of the week, 8 degrees for a low. Look at that, though. High pressure is dominating. Sun and more sun, folks. And have a happy Thanksgiving. We got a good forecast on tap. Back to you.
All right, let's take another look at tonight's trivia question. Which of these cities has had a snowstorm drop over 20 inches of snow in just one day? Was it A, Des Moines, Iowa, B, Barrow, Alaska, C, Houston, Texas, or D, Atlanta, Georgia? What are y'all thinking?
Ooh, Houston.
Wow, did not see that coming.
I was not. You're from Texas yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, and trust me, if we get 2 inches of snow on the ground, there's panic and chaos abounding. But
I'm sure, yeah.
Well, you know what they say about Texas as well, but 10 inches, Sam, that's pretty impressive.
It is, yeah. It's northern and central Iowa, look out because you're going to get a lot of snow here in the next 24 hours, I'd say. So
I was going to say, it almost looked like we were getting 20 inches close, depending on where you're at.
yeah,
So.
definitely. So
Well,
Eric,
Sam, I'll be expecting more than 10 inches in more than one way coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
All right, and with that, that concludes our show for tonight. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. And you can find every show online at YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you right back here again on Tuesday.